Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. In this session, we are going to see for loop. For loop is very important when we need to repeat a step or statement multiple times and when we know how many times we want. So it goes like this. You start for loop checks as part of a condition whether the process reached a last item. If it reached last item, if it does not reach last item, it goes and executes the statement until it reaches the last statement. If it reaches the last statement true, it finishes. Pretty straightforward concept. The syntax goes it for a variable from starting number to ending number. For a variable, we keep on incrementing it. For loop automatically increments it unless it reaches the end number from the starting number. And some take some steps or some steps to take or some more steps to execute it. For example, for n is a variable here, and from 1 to 10, and we're going to display echo, which implies it will be displaying number from 1 to 10. As soon as it reaches 10, it finishes. Let's see an example and dive a little bit more deeper into it. Start your OS, and in the operating system, launch our favorite Notepad++. So let's get started with an example like for loop. So as I said, for loop is very useful. It starts with a variable, let's say n, and you need to specify from starting point, display the starting point to ending number, starting number to ending number. And it will automatically increment. Let's see an example. For example, as a syntax is, like take a variable, I'll say n is my variable, var n, and let's say as for loop syntax says, it is case sensitive. You cannot write f as capital. If you write it, you'll get an error, but let's just go with a smaller case, say n from 1 to, let's say 5. And if it is perfect, give a tab, and then specify what you want to print as a value of n. Say echo n, and this may not print, this may print it. So this will print n value from 1 to n. So what happens is checks, hey 1, and it will come back here print, and it will also check whether it is reached to the last value, which is 5. In this case, 1 is not equal to 5. So condition is satisfied. It goes down, it prints 1, it come back again, and then automatically it increases the number from 1 to 2, and then 2 is equal to 5 or not. It will check. It's not. Then it will come back and print again. It will go back again 3. It will increment it automatically. Check for the condition until the moment it reaches 5 is equal to 5, it prints it and it gets out of it. Let's save this example and see, and then we'll try to do multiple other variations, how it could be used and where it could be used. Save. So now save. So let's say for example, for loop, and save. So this is saved as for example. We have this. We have saved it. Let's try to execute this test. So let's expand and fire our command prompt. Say command prompt, which is cmd. Let's try to go to the directory where your TagUI is, and then we have in this location we have stored a script or test. So TagUI, provide the file name which you want to run. In this case, it's for example, and say -h and enter. So if you see, it started and it incremented each time the value. Let's decorate it a little bit better. Start, say echo, and say for loop example, start. So echo n value equal to this. Now this will give you a little bit more clarity how it has been executed. When you execute this, it's a for loop example, and you can see n. So what is happening here, each time it displays the statement, when you go back again, the value gets incremented, value gets increased. Now let's see some more example or some more variety of the same case. We can do is for n, you can say starting from something middle, like say 5 to 7, and we can print 5 to 7 instead of printing 1 to 5, right? So in this particular case, what is happening is it will check for instead of starting value as 1, it will be starting value is 5 in this case. Let's execute and see how it works. So when you execute it, it will start. So it will be first printing 1 to 5. So it has printed 1 to 5, and then again starts with 5, 6, 7, and as soon as it reaches 7, it completes. So these are two variants, and there's no mandatory aspects of it. You can only use one code statement or one statement in this. You can have multiple statements, whatever you may like, use for loop in a repetitive fashion. The only thing which you need to remember here is indentation and case sensitivity part. So if you say for in a capital way, TagUI tend to throw error, probably in future release TagUI may fix this problem. So these are the bugs, or these are the problems which you see. Say for and say save. You can say for save. So you can see this is how for works. So if you execute it, now the same code will execute without any error. All right, so this finishes our for loop example. Very useful when we want to repeat a finite number of steps again and again. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in another session.